my Christmas sombrero. Feliz Navidad. Okay, I'm sorry. That was kind of culturally insensitive, right? I apologize. But anyway, now that my apologies out of the corner, welcome to, hold on. Y'all not supposed to see that. Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews, as we call it here, BrickWall Christmas. I'm Dave, and right now I'm going to be talking about Christmas special I grew up on when I was when I was younger. So, all right, background, because I kind of messed up a little bit. So, what I'm doing for this month of December is usually I just do BrickWall Christmas, where I'll go over some Christmas specials that I grew up with as I was a kid. I did those for the past few years. It was always 4 of them, but this year I figured, hey, why not do some more specials and more holiday movies? So I have BrickWall Holiday and BrickWall Christmas. So right now this is BrickWall Christmas, and I'm going to be talking about the Family Guy Christmas special, a very special Family Guy friggin' Christmas. All right, that was my terrible Peter Griffin impression. So yes, but before I get into it, I want to remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Go ahead and follow us on social media. We're on X, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. So make sure y'all follow us there, show us some love and all that good stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button down below and comment. And of course, like I already said, subscribe. And you like my Donkey Kong shirt? I like it. So anyway, so this episode of Family Guy is from season 3, episode 16. It is their first Christmas special. They have so many different Christmas specials, just like American Dad, and just like any show that's been on the air for a long time, you have multiple Christmas specials. So this is their very first one, though, and this follows the Griffin family as they try to have the perfect Christmas for Lois, because Lois is like, she wants to have that perfect mom Christmas. Stewie's in a pageant, and she has a gift that she wants to give and donate, and she just wants to keep everything together. But of course, the Griffins somehow, mainly Peter, finds a way to kind of screw everything up. So first of all, I remember watching this special because Family Guy has been on for a long time, and when I was younger, I did find myself watching Family Guy. I was one of the kids, well, not even one of the kids. I was in that area where it's like, oh, I want to watch Family Guy because it's that adult cartoon, it's edgy and all that good stuff. But I remember seeing this episode. I actually got one of the jokes that's not in this episode, but in a completely different episode. And I had to find that one because I thought this was the one where he went over the holiday album and he was singing, he was like, I got these gifts for you there up in my bum. But this is not that one. But this is still a good one because this has the one joke that I forgot about, which was the whole Frosty the Snowman bit, which is part of the thumbnail that I had. So it was like Lois, like she snaps. Matter of fact, I'll get to that later. So the episode starts off with, they're at the tree lighting for the city of Quahog, and sorry, I'm sorry, I got something to on to. This is embarrassing. But so the city is like kind of celebrating their whole big Christmas thing, and now they're going to do a Christmas pageant. Lois wants Stewie to be a part of the pageant, and of course, this is the early days. So, like, one of the first things Stewie does in this episode is try to kill Lois by like sharpening a candy cane and goes to stab her, but it doesn't work. So Lois wants him to be Jesus, the baby Jesus for the play. Stewie starts to learn about Santa. So I'm gonna start with this plot because I actually do like this plot here. So the one plot point of this episode, Stewie he learns about Santa, right? He finds out Santa sees him when he's sleeping, knows he's awake, the whole myth of the stuff like that. So Stewie starts to get a little paranoid because he's like, well, who is this Santa Claus? It's watching me. And so like he has this nightmare about Santa where he's like this like Darth Vader like there's a lot of Star Wars references in here too. I'll get to that in a bit. But he's like blocking Stewie's ray gun shots and everything. Then he like takes him and like, turns him into an elf and like brainwashes him and stuff. So it's like Stewie has this nightmare, and this is a joke that really made me laugh, right? He was screaming about it, he was ripping stuff apart, he's all paranoid. So Lois like, Stewie, it's time for you to go to bed, be quiet. He was like, no. He said something, and she's like, don't make me have to come in there. He's like, don't make me have to come in there. Yeah. It was funny as heck. So so it pretty much just revolves around Stewie. He gets to meet the mall Santa, and he wants like some uranium or plutonium or something like that. So he's trying to be a good boy so that he can get the thing that he wants from Santa Claus. And of course, we all know how that turns out at the end. If you've seen the episode, if not, then I won't tell you how it turns out. But you might have a good idea. Make sure you watch it. Season 3, episode 16, just in case you missed that part. So another part of the episode, really the main part of the episode, really is how Peter and it's really interesting, really kind of seeing the show dynamics early on in Family Guy, because Joe wasn't always like really close to the group, because Peter just wants to sit down and watch TV. That's all he wants to do is sit down, watch TV, and just relax. But first, Lois wants him to go over to Joe and Bonnie's for dinner. And then while they're over there, Quagmire and Cleveland show up and say, "Hey, Peter, let's go out and have fun and get drunk and stuff." And so Lois is like, "Well, you should take Joe with you." He's like, "No, I'm not going to take Joe with me." So it was really interesting because, like, as you watch Family Guy now, you kind of see like Joe is like a really like a core part of the friend group with Cleveland, Quagmire, and Peter. But early on, Peter was not really fucking with Joe. And Joe was just kind of weird, like weirder than he is now a little bit. Because like he was so traumatized from not having legs, not being able to walk and stuff like that. And that's when they explained what happened to him. So like Joe's introduction and what into the series, it wasn't this, it was an earlier episode, I think back in season 1. He lost his ability to walk because he was chasing down the Grinch. So but anyway, so he was like playing with gingerbread cookies, like, "No, gingerbread man, get to walk." And so he took Joe with him, and then Joe was like, "Peter, you're not going to drink and drive." So everyone else is drunk except for Peter. He's the designated driver, so he's not having as much fun. There's this gag about them making him eat the yellow snow cone, and he was like, "Yeah, that last yellow snow cone tasted like, oh, you guys are asses." That was funny. So then Peter goes and drops off the gifts like he was supposed to, that like Lois asked him to, but instead of dropping off one gift, he dropped off more than one. And the whole time that Peter's doing a lot of these screw ups that's happening, Lois is like kind of keeping it together, just like, "It's okay, Peter. It's okay, Peter. Oh, it's Christmas. Oh, we'll figure it out, Peter." And then so in the meantime, a Christmas special is coming on that Peter really wants to watch. It's the Kiss Christmas special. Which is like Kiss Save Santa or something like that. And every time Peter tries to watch it, either Lois is telling him to go somewhere, or like a TV is being destroyed or turned off in front of him. And that's like his primary focus to try to do that. So, but it's real funny though, when Peter realized that he sent the gifts, that he put all the gifts to the donation instead of just one of them. He was like, what was it he said? And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm all over the place. I'm just thinking of like really funny gags. If you like watch the episode, it's been out for years. Like season 3, like Family Guy's like, I'm like, what, almost, I think season 20, if not, yeah, probably like season 20 by now. Anyway, so when Peter, he's like, "Oh man, what did they change the meaning of for and from?" And Brian was like, what he said? He's like, "Oh yeah, they had a meeting for it." He was like, "Oh really? They had a meeting? How come I didn't get notified about it?" "Oh well, they sent you a letter in the mail, but it said for, and you probably thought it was from, so that's why you didn't." You know what? It's just easier to call you stupid. It's just like this whole bit that because back then too, Brian was just like sarcastic. He was just a sarcastic little asshole. He was like the sarcastic, smart ass talking dog. Now Brian's character is like, I don't know, there's YouTube analysis is on that all over the place. I don't even want to talk about that. He's just a completely different character. But back then he was the sarcastic straight man to Peter's antics. So that was one of the funny jokes I found in there. And then of course there was a bit where while Lois and Peter are out at the mall trying to get the gifts again and everything, there's 2 different gags, right? The first gag is Peter chasing the lady up the escalator. That was funny. And then that's just a whole sequence you gotta see for yourself. And then another one was when there was a fire that broke in the house, and so Brian was trying to put it out with a fire extinguisher, and it was a joke one. He was like, "Damn it, Peter!" And so when he confronted Peter about it, he was like, "Who puts a novelty fire extinguisher in the house?" He was like, "Someone who doesn't care enough about their family's health and safety. That's who." Something like that. It was so funny. And then so all that stuff happens, and like Lois is like despite the turkey being burnt, the house being almost catching on fire and being destroyed, not being able to get the gifts back like she wanted to, all that stuff, despite all that stuff happening, Lois is like, we'll still have a very nice Christmas, we'll still be able to, so let's clean all this up and just be a happy family. Hey man, get the paper towels. There are no paper towels. There's no paper towels. Then Lois just loses her shit, and then like, but then like as soon as Lois jumps out of the window and just like goes stomping down the street, Meg's like, oh, here's some paper towels. But so that leads me to the bit with Frosty the Snowman. So like the kids put the magic hat on Frosty, he comes alive, and Lois just starts garbage talking to him, and then Frosty's like, oh no, oh, hey lady, what's your freaking problem, huh? And so like she like sets Frosty on fire. And so the kids go to put the hat back on him. He's like, no, take it off. But like, this is like early Family Guy was like so funny because it was just so random. Like, not like random like it is now, but it's like the jokes were random, but they were like cohesive. More like now it's just like a bunch of cutaways, and like it's not as, I don't know, it's like this special type of magic that Family Guy had back then that doesn't really have now. Not to be one of those, oh, Family Guy was better back in the day type of people, because I still laugh my ass off of Family Guy. But it was just like looking at those jokes, it's like, man, that's actually really, really funny, as opposed to now it's like, oh, that's sick, but funny, but sick. This one's like, oh, that's just funny because it's like, it's funny. It's just funny because it's funny. I don't know I'm not a comedic person. Comedy is subjective. I'm not, I can't tell. But so they end up of course they end up catching up to Lois, and Stewie gives this really heartfelt speech to baby Jesus, and then they calm down Lois, they shoot her with a tranquilizer gun, and everything is all right, and happy Merry Christmas, everybody. So like I said, this is a special, and if you want more, just like I said, go watch the episode yourself. Like, you get a lot more out of it than just me just telling you about the episode. Season 3, episode 16, in case you forgot. So like overall though, like this is a special, like I said, I remember watching it when I was a kid. I remember thinking it was really funny because I always thought Family Guy was funny. But just in terms of like, is this the strongest Christmas special that they have? Maybe not, but it definitely is nostalgic in terms of this is what Family Guy started off as. And to see how it evolved to what it is now, it's kind of like two different Family Guys. But I don't know. This one just kind of like, it was something that, because I was watching a lot of older Family Guy anyway. And then, like I said, I just thought about this one Christmas gag, and I said, oh yeah, Family Guy does have this old Christmas special that I used to watch when I was younger. So, and then plus I always talk about an adult animated series because, growing up, come on, if you're my age, I'm 30. You're my age, we watched the adult animated cartoons when we was younger. Don't cap. We watched it all on Adult Swim. Okay, how we all know about Adult Swim? Because we was watching Adult Swim back then. Okay, we wasn't asleep at bedtime. We was up watching Adult Swim. So this is just one of them that I grew up with. I always saw it, like, especially around the holiday season. Of course, they play our Christmas specials. So this was one that again, just thinking back on, I was like, wow, I did get a lot of laughs from that. And just watching it again now, I got the same amount of laughs. I saw jokes in a different manner. There were some references they made that I didn't get it back then, but I get it now. Especially the bit about when Peter was recording the football game. It was like, do you have to mention from ABC Sports? And it was like, just ABC. And they like beat him up and took the VCR and broke it. Like, that stuff is funny to me now because I know that copyright laws and all that stuff. Like, I get it. And it's like they say this is the property of the NFL, so you technically weren't supposed to record the games back then, but you did. So it's like, what if they bust down your door? Okay, I'm going too much on the explanation, but it's a good special. But despite how good I think it was and how much fun I had watching it and how nostalgic I was for it, I'm gonna give this special a 3 out of 5 stars. I mean, it was funny. It was nice to enjoy it. It was good going back down memory lane with Family Guy, especially in the earlier seasons. But it just didn't really resonate with me as hard as it did back then. But that's not to say it's a bad special. It's a good special. It's a good special. It's just maybe I'm being a little unfair. I'll bump it to a 3.5 because that chase with the old lady was really funny. It was really funny. And just the nonsensical humor that Family Guy has. Oh, and there was one part where Peter was Peter told Lois something. He was like, if you strike me down, I'll only come back more powerful than before, which is a Star Wars reference, which is just really funny. Like, Peter really was like funny as hell back then, like funny because he wasn't the asshole he is now. Like, Peter's just like a dangerous asshole now, but back then he was he had a heart of gold and he was still funny. But anyway, if you want to check this special out for yourself and take a trip down memory lane, or maybe you've never seen this episode, it's on Hulu now. You go to Hulu, go to Family Guy, season 3, episode 16, a very special Family Guy, friggin' Christmas. But enjoy it, watch it, and let me know in the comments what you think. But until then, that's it. That's all I have for you guys right now. So thank you all for tuning in. Remember, go ahead, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you enjoyed this review, let me know in the comment section down below. Is this your favorite Family Guy Christmas special? Is this your favorite adult animated Christmas special? If you want to see what other adult animated Christmas specials I went over as well, make sure you check out the playlist for BrickWall Christmas 2022 and 2021, where I did the American Dad Minstrel Krampus episode back in 2021. In 2022, which was last year, I did the Boondocks, a Huey Freeman Christmas. So make sure you check those out. Let me know which one's your favorite. And if you got one that you really enjoy that I haven't talked about, let me know. I do have a special surprise episode for a adult animated series that I'm going to do before the end of the season, and I cannot wait to get to that one. But until that time, you guys be easy, stay breezy, stay holly and jolly, and until next time, Feliz Navidad. Peace.